Hey guys, it's me, Tiana Jones, also known as Callie Faye, and I'm back today with the Global Peace Sustainable Development Goal, Day 6, Clean Water and Sanitation. This is huge because all countries need this, and we all need to pay attention on what's going on in the world. Our first guest speaker is Katia Bibilari. Welcome.
Well, hello again. I'm from Georgia, and today I'm going to talk about SDG 6, and I will talk about it, and I will talk about my country. And as it is known, SDG 6 aims to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. And this goal is important because access to clean water and sanitation is fundamental to human health, dignity, and well-being. Lack of access to safe water and adequate sanitation can lead to a range of health problems, including waterborne disease, and can have negative impacts on education, livelihoods, and economic development. In Georgia, the government has made significant progress in improving access to safe drinking water. According to the World Bank, access to piped water supply systems increased from 65% of the population in 1990 to 86% in 2017. However, there are still challenges in terms of water quality, particularly in rural areas, because some rural communities still rely on unimproved water sources, such as unprotected wells, which can be contaminated and unsafe for drinking. In terms of sanitation, the country has also made progress in improving access to improved sanitation facilities, such as flush toilets. According to the United Nations Development Program, 94% of the urban population and 7% of the rural population had access to improved sanitation facilities in 2017. However, challenges remain in terms of access to basic sanitation facilities and the proper management of wastewater. According to the World Health Organization, only 27% of the rural population had access to basic sanitation facilities in 2017. To address these challenges and achieve SDG 6, the government of Georgia has developed a national water supply and sanitation strategy and action plan. The strategy aims to improve access to safe drinking water and adequate sanitation and hygiene for all, and to ensure the sustainable management of water resources. The government has also invested in infrastructure improvements, such as upgrading water supply systems and building wastewater treatment plants. Despite these efforts, more work needs to be done to ensure universal access to safe and affordable drinking water and adequate sanitation and hygiene for all in Georgia. Thank you for your attention.
And that is amazing that every day you've been joining us, because that is just resilient, and you're just keep giving us more knowledge about your country, things that I never knew, and I'm sure people watching never knew about your country. So thank you so much. And it is important for young girls and for all people to be having access to clean water and sanitation. So wow, thank you. You are on a roll. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next guest speaker is Ambassador Estra. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome, dear honorable guest speakers and audience, to our Global Peace Sustainable Development Goals 6 Summit. I'm Esther Mala from Malaysia, soft skill trainer, educator, and international inspirational speaker. Today, I'm also going to share this interesting and very important topic. Goal 6, clean water and sanitation. We have to remember this. When we take care of the water, we are taking care of the planet. Availability and access to water, sanitation, and hygiene services is fundamental to fighting the virus and preserving the health and well-being of millions. Demand for water is rising owing to rapid population growth, urbanization, and increasing water needs for agriculture, industry, and energy sector. The targets of Goal 6 include safe and affordable drinking water and open defecation and provide access to sanitation and hygiene reuse, improve water quality, water waste treatment, and safe reuse, increase water use efficiency, and ensure fresh water supplies, implement integrated water resources management, protect and restore water-related ecosystems, expand water and sanitation support to developing countries, support local engagement in water and sanitation management. In Malaysia, this topic, SDG 6, is least discussed. Anyway, we are quite advanced in this area, as 94% of the population in Malaysia are safely provided with drinking water. (94% population in Malaysia uses a safely managed drinking water. I repeat, services. The SDG indicator 6.1.1. Sanitation, 77% of population in Malaysia uses a safely managed sanitation services. Hygiene, not mentioned number of population of Malaysia has hand washing facilities with soap and water available at home and in public toilets. Wastewater, 88% of domestic wastewater in Malaysia is safely treated. Water quality, the percentage not mentioned, but of monitored water bodies in Malaysia has good ambient water quality. Efficiency, 61 ringgit per meter cube is the value added to the use of water by people and economy in Malaysia. Water stress, 3% of the renewable water resources in Malaysia is being withdrawn after taking into account environmental flow requirement. Water management, 63%, is the degree of implementation of integrated resources management in Malaysia. Transboundary, 2%. 2% of transboundary basin area has an operational arrangement for water cooperation. Ecosystem, 50% of the water basins in Malaysia is experiencing rapid changes in the area of covered by surface waters. Cooperation, 1 M per dollar is the amount of water and sanitation related to official development assistance received by Malaysia in 2020. Participation is numbers of sectors out of 6 with a high level of participation by communities in Malaysia. Clean water and sanitation. What it means by clean water and sanitation. UN definition by 2030 improve water quality by reducing pollution, eliminating dumping, and minimizing release of hazardous chemicals and materials, halving the proportion of untreated waterways and sustainably increase recycling and safe use globally. Why clean water and sanitation is important? Safe drinking water, sanitation, and hygiene wash are crucial to human health and well-being. Safe wash is not only a prerequisite to health, but contributes to livelihoods, dignity, and helps to create resilient communities living in healthy environments. These are few ways to help clean water and sanitation. Recycle waterways, invent new water conservation technologies, appropriately price water, population growth control, improve water catchment, holistically manage ecosystems, shrink corporate water footprints, and open defecation. In Malaysia, we don't have this problem. Yeah, we have very good sanitation system and public toilets for everyone, even in village. Yeah. So water conservation, we can have soak pit, rainwater harvest, small dams, efficient irrigation technology, sensor-based taps, water saving showers. Yeah, in our shopping complex and most of the buildings, we have sensor-based taps. So we to avoid water wastage. What can we do? Civil society organization should work to keep government accountable, invest in water research and development, and promote the inclusion of women, youth, and indigenous communities in water resources governance. Generating awareness of these roles, turning them into action will lead to win-win results and increase sustainability and integrity for both human and ecological system. You can also get into involving in World Water Day and World Toilet Day campaigns that aim to provide information and inspirational to take action on hygiene issues. To find out more about goals, SDG Goals 6 and other sustainable development goals, you may visit the respective website. What would it cost if we don't correct the problems? The costs are huge, both for people and for the economy worldwide. More than 2 million people die every year from diarrheal diseases. Poor hygiene and unsafe water are responsible for nearly 90% of these deaths and mostly affect children. Without better infrastructure and management, millions of people will continue to die every year, and there will be further losses in biodiversity and ecosystem resilience, undermining prosperity and efforts towards a more sustainable future. In conclusion, there is more than 1 billion people in the world who have no access to safe drinking water and more than 2 billion people worldwide who don't have proper sanitation system. Water purification is one of the solutions for the water pollution. Dear audience, we have to remember, life without water is impossible. So save it, conserve it, think and don't waste it. Thank you. Oh my God. Sorry, my camera got.
It's okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. And that is definitely true. Everything you said was true. Thank you for the passion and the mission statement at the end of your speech. Thank you so much. Thank you. Our next international guest speaker is Professor Dr. Saraya Bano. Welcome.
Thank you, Diana ma'am. This is Professor Dr. Surya Bano from Nagar, Chhattisgarh, India. Today the topic is SDG 6 Clean Water and Sanitation. As our Prime Minister, His Excellency Narendra Modi ji said, cleanliness and sanitation were closest to Gandhiji's heart. We will launch a Clean India's campaign, and by Gandhiji's 150th birth anniversary, all schools in the country should have toilets with separate toilets for girls. SDG 6 focuses on ensuring a clean and stable water supply and effective water sanitation for all people by the year 2030. The SDG 6 Global Acceleration Framework has been developed in partnership with over 30 United Nations entities and 40 international organizations, outlining a more efficient and coordinated support to countries to ensure global availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Sustainable Development Goal 6 goes beyond drinking water, sanitation, and hygiene to also address the quality and sustainability of water resources, which are critical to the survival of people and the planet. The human right to water and sanitation on 28 July 2010 through Resolution 64 by 292, the United Nations General Assembly explicitly recognized the human right to water and sanitation and acknowledged the clean drinking water and sanitation are essential to the realization of all human rights. The United Nations has defined 8 targets and 11 indicators for SDG 6. Target specify the goals and the indicator represent the matrix of by which the world aims to track whether these targets are achieved. As Mother Teresa said, I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. The goals indicators for SDG 6 are drinking water. SDGs target 6.1 is by 2030 achieve universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all. Sanitation, hygiene, wastewater treatment, water quality, water use efficiency, water stress, and last one is integrated water resources management. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, sanitation is more important than independence, and further added, so long as you do not take the broom and the bucket in your hands, you cannot make your towns and cities clean. Then the question arises, why is clean water and sanitation a goal? The millions of people die every year due to a lack of clean water or basic hygiene, and the water scarcity impacts 40% of the global population. Access to basic sanitation and hygiene is critical during a global pandemic to dramatically slow the spread of disease and reduce the risk of death. Major challenges to providing safe water and sanitation on a global basis are contamination of water in distribution system, growing water scarcity, and the potential for water reuse and conservation. Implementing innovative low-cost sanitation system, providing sustainable water supply. In the words of Nelson Mandela, the very right to be human is denied every day to hundreds of millions of people as a result of poverty. The unavailability of basic necessities such as food, job, water and shelter, education, healthcare, and a healthy environment. Now I want to focus to help achieve target 6.1 of the SDGs. We can do some ways to contribute to the sustainable development goals. Sign the WASH support SDG 6, clean water and sanitation by committing to WASH, water, sanitation and hygiene. Place to access to safe water, sanitation and hygiene at the workplace. This will not only help keep our community clean, but set a standard and expectation for others to follow, including our competitors. Provide a healthy workplace. It is essential to ensure that people have a workplace conducive to maintaining good health. The key drives for SDGs 3, good health and well-being, and SDGs 8, decent work and economic growth. Review our supply chain and implement sustainable practices. Youth project that support the SDGs. Invest in renewable energy. Being big consumers of energy on SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities invest in renewable energy resources such as solar, wind, and biofuel. Encourage reduce, reuse, and recycle. The uses of single-use plastic bags, plastic bottles, and other containers put great pressures on our earth. support SDG 13, life on land, and SDGs 14, life below water, by doing our part to reduce the amount of plastic waste produced by our businesses activities. Support education of the future generation locally and globally. Give paid voluntary days, SDGs 2, zero hunger, shows us a pathway to change the world by feeding our needy neighbors, by providing paid days of for employees to volunteer in hunger-related activities. Reward responsible behaviors to support SDGs 12, responsible consumption and production. Consider offering bonuses or award launches for your more environmentally conscious team members, especially those who move your business closer to more responsible practices. Take it to the next level through partnership with other businesses. SDG 17 partnerships for the goals encourages business to become part of partnership for responsible action in pursuit of any and all of the global goals. Choose to give to causes that you care about the most. This case, simply start with the SDGs that you feel most strongly about and give towards causes that support it. It is contribution to the very big cause of SDGs for quality education. In the words of Kofi Annan, access to a secure, safe, and sufficient source of fresh water is a fundamental requirement for the survival, well-being, and socio-economic development of all humanity. Yet, we continue to act as if fresh water were a perpetually abundant resources. It is not. Now I conclude, having clean water and sanitation means being able to avoid exposure to countless diseases. Every year, millions of people die from diseases caused inadequate water supply, sanitation, and hygiene. Other than pneumonia, diarrhea is the main causes of death in children under age 5. Protecting and resorting water-related ecosystems such as forests, mountains, wetlands, and rivers is essential. If we are to mitigate water scarcity, more international cooperation is also needed to encourage water efficiency and support treatment technologies in developing countries. The goal is a reaction to the fact that many people throughout the world lack these basic services. About 40% of the world's population is affected by a lack of water. Our cherished way of life depends on clean water, healthy ecosystem, provide wildlife habitat and places to fish, paddle, surf, and swim. Our economy depends on clean water, manufacturing, farming, tourism, recreation, energy production, and other economic sectors need clean water to function and flourish. At last, I want to share nice words said by our former President of India, Ram Nath Kovind ji. Sanitation and cleanliness are among the humblest of the civic virtues, and it is easy to underestimate their significance. Meanwhile, all the SDGs are combined and all are interrelated. And we have to do, to fulfill our target 230, we have to achieve all these SDGs. Thank you, Tiana ma'am. Thank you, one and all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. And we're so grateful every day you've been coming and telling us more information, but you always end your speech with a quote from a strong leader. And I do appreciate that because it gives the people hope that are watching. It gives them hope that it can be achieved and that we can find a solution for these SDGs. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next international guest speaker is going to be Caleb Timilin Samuel.
Good afternoon very much. I am Caleb Samuel from Nigeria. I'll be contributing my quota towards the UNSDG Goal 6, which is clean water, sanitation, and hygiene. Access to water, sanitation, and hygiene are human rights and crucial for good outcomes in health, nutrition, education, gender equality, livelihood, and for socio-economic development of a country. A lack of access to these basic life-saving services impact virtually all aspects of human development, disproportionately affecting the life chances of women and girls. Goal 6 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals is focused on ensuring inclusive and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water, sanitation, and hygiene for all. However, in lower and middle income countries like Nigeria, millions of people are without clean and accessible water and sanitation. Now, I will be bringing up some statistics here. According to Water, Sanitation and Hygiene National Outcome Routine Mapping 2018, about 55 million Nigerians still do not have access to clean water supply services. 110 million Nigerians lack decent toilets, and over 47 million practice open defecation. I would also like to bring these statistics from UNICEF. It says poor water supply and sanitation costs the Nigerian economy about 1.3% of GDP annually, which is about 1.9 trillion Nigerian naira. These losses are reflected in lost productivity due to water and sanitation related diseases. Time spent in accessing water and sanitation services, avoiding expenses by government and households to address diseases, and the lost human capacity in malnutrition and mortality. So I would like to share with us the National Action Plan of Nigeria that was adopted in 2018 by the Nigerian government. The Nigerian government declared the state of emergency in Nigeria's water, sanitation, and hygiene sector, and launched a national action plan for the revitalization of the sector. This was in response to Nigeria's wash crisis, which states about 11% of Nigeria's households have access to health, basic and sanitation services. So a national sanitation campaign was tagged Clean Nigeria. Use the Toilet was launched to address the particularly grim sanitation crisis and deliver an open defecation-free Nigeria by 2025. So as part of the National Action Plan, there were about 5 interrelated pillars that were outlined in the plan. So the number one of it is governance, number 2, sanitation, number 3, financing, number 4, sustainability, number 5, monitoring and evaluation. As part of the Nigerians' plan to meet up with the UNSDG Goal 6, the government of Nigeria, through the Ministry of Water Resources, aims to provide technical assistance and capacity strengthening support to stimulate sector actors towards achieving the longer-term goals of National Action Plan, which are to ensure universal access to sustainable and safely managed wash services for every Nigerian by 2030, and to institutionalize the enabling environment required to support the effective and sustainable management of Nigerian wash services. So as part of Nigeria's plan to meet up with the goal 6 of clean water and hygiene and sanitation, the Water Aid Nigeria, in partnership with the National Water Resources Institute, combined the wash experience of the National Water Resources Institute to contribute to bridging knowledge and capacity gaps for the delivery of equitable, sustainable total sanitation at scale in Nigeria. And I can remember in 2017, at the World Water Week in Stockholm, Water Aid Nigeria entered into a partnership with the government of Nigeria through the Ministry of Water Resources to provide technical assistance and capacity strengthening support to stimulate sector actors towards achieving the longer term goals of the National Action Plan. So this is to show that there's still a long way to go, particularly in meeting the Sustainable Goal 6 here in Nigeria, as a sustainable environment is a healthier environment. So I would like to urge leaders here to let all hands be on deck and to make sure that the Sustainable Development Goal 6, which is the clean water, sanitation, and hygiene, come to reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And you are also someone who has been joining every single day for every single SDG. We honor having you here because each country is making a difference and you are needed for your country to give us that information and research and opinion. Thank you again so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next international guest speaker is going to be Professor Dr. Richa Ranjan. Welcome. I think she got kicked out of the Zoom she was on. Maybe she'll sign back in. We'll wait for her to sign back in, but I will go ahead and talk in the meantime. Oh, there she is. She got back in. Can you hear us?
Yeah. It was disconnection, I think so. Hi, everyone. Myself, Dr. Richa Ranjan from India. And today we are going to speak about SDG 6, which refers to the 6 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And the specific targets of SDG 6, what they include are ensuring availability and sustainability management of water, nice sanitation for all, improving the water quality by decreasing pollution, eliminating dumping, and minimizing the release of hazardous chemicals which are there in water and the other materials which are included in the water, and increase water use efficiency and promote the use of sustainable water resources management practices. So by protecting and restoring water related ecosystem, including mountains, forests, wetlands, rivers, and lakes. So by improving water governance and cooperation, including transboundary cooperation, integrated water resources management, this can be helpful to the SDG goals. And sanitation is the main issue, which I think so every part of the every country is affected by it. And what is to be done? What are the 5 main points of the SDG 6? I think so by 2030, water quality, pollution, these should be maintained and should be uh, categorized under the ABCD category. Yes, they are improving, they are working on it. Sustainable development goals goes beyond drinking water, sanitation, hygiene. These are nice to be spoken, but till that time, if they're not worked upon, it's very difficult. If we are just speaking, we are just discussing about that, but the government should take the actions. As in our country, this is the main issue. Each and every person who is living in our country, they are affected by the polluted water, and that's the necessity of an hour. The agenda, it is the critical issue, and it is very much necessary for the survival of the human beings in our country, in our planet also. And the 2030 agenda recognizes the centrality of water resources, of sustainable development, and the vital role that improved drinking water sanitation. This should be taken in the country. This should be contributed by everyone. So what we can say is about the sanitation and the others area. Sustainable Development Goal 6 is kind of it should be kind of much should be taken care of, because I was thinking of to speak much, but I think the other speaker has already told us about the G6. So in end, I'll say this agenda recognizes the centrality of water resources to sustainable development and the vital role that improved drinking water sanitation hygiene play in the progress in other areas. And it includes health, education, poverty reduction. Thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing. And it's great to see you for your second day on our platform. We are grateful for you to be here today and give that light to others and help us get to the next level of understanding. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
So I will basically speak for a couple minutes briefly about this topic. Each person who came here was able to give very innovative solutions to this issue. In the United States here, we have access to clean water, and we also have access to sanitation, but it still becomes an issue in different parts, such as Flint, Michigan, where the water was actually so bad and polluted that people are catching a cancer, skin disease. Their children were affected by this tragic event that happened where the water was polluted. Again, this is very, very sad because there are still places in the United States that need innovation. There are still needs of focus here for humanity and for the people. And yes, it's not necessarily something that the people can do on their own. It is something that the governments and also financial institutes need to put together a program so that they can find a solution for this issue, whether it's rebuilding the economical, system for funding, accepting these certain funds, because it's going to cost a very high financial amount of money to fix this issue. Now, if you start in one area, then it can spread in other areas, other states, other countries. And I was talking to a gentleman, and he had a filtration system that he uses in India, Africa, and some other countries. Why aren't the governments partnering to buy these prototypes of different, inventions and filtration systems to implement them in other countries? That's what they're doing right now. They're at a halt, they're at a pause where they have to decide if they're going to go forward and continue that contracting or help the people in the areas, because all humanity exists, all lives do exist. Everyone is supposed to be equal and have access to clean water and sanitation. It should not be this way. So once we find out how to build that type of relationship with our government, and also with the people that are able to use their brains and innovative ideas and inventions, and also the technology they have created, and this can change the dynamic of the course for all humanity. I think it's going to be something that people have to invest in, and even private sectors. I think if they go ahead and invest in something like this, it can majorly impact the entire world. And once the entire world has access to all of these things, all these SDGs, all of this energy, all of this clean water, sanitation, and even, the other SDGs that we're offering every day, trying to find a solution from other countries, giving information of what's going on in all of these other people's countries. I believe that people can come up with more solutions, more creations. They can use their gifts God gave them to be a developer, an economic developer, someone who can always find a solution for the issue. I believe everyone has that technique as long as they care about humanity and they make the attempt to find that solution. So anyone can do this, but I believe you have to tap into your true divinity of oneself and find out where you want to be and who you want to be as a person. What action plan can you put together with a team? What solution can you decide that is the best for your country, your cities, your states, your areas, your villages, all of these areas that you can look at what level of understanding the humanity has and the education behind the innovation. Are people educated enough to know that they can change the dynamic of their course? And then if you can use your voice to tell those people exactly what can be done, putting together an action plan for the strong leaders in your communities that are willing to speak and be advocates for the issue, willing to stand up for the other people, because not everyone is going to be able to do that, but they will be able to benefit off of the time that you put in speaking and being an advocate for them and uniting people together, forming a team in each area. Once you form a team in each area, then you guys can have ways that each person can be getting a job that they need to do, such as writing. One person can write the governments. One person can check on those villages and check on those cities, a couple times a week, and, document the research of the temperatures of the different water filtration systems. I mean, and if there's none in place, where are the locations that these need to be set in place? And then you can go from even going to Google, using technology and media, the internet, and spreading that information all over social media, connecting with other global leaders and other people, building a stronger team, an innovative team. And then what you can do is take an action of documenting everything and recording everything from the ground up of how you were able to communicate with people on the level of not understanding, educating them, and then also finding that solution for them. And why do you do that? You do that so that you can show the next city, the next state, the next country how it can be done. And you're implementing that plan over and over and over again, which makes the governments or the organizations believe in what you're doing and also backing you with credibility so they can help you financially with donations, or help you financially with a grant from your government, or help you financially because they see that you have an action plan that is being facilitated and followed through. You're following through with it. You're, accomplishing it little by little as a process. And I think from here, the next level of understanding would be to use social media, not just to build a team, but to make it known as an awareness. Also get involved with your local press and also, make that consideration to tell them we have this action plan, so that you're giving people hope that this can be fixed, instead of making it known about the issue just in an awareness. I believe making it known as the solution of there's an awareness for that solution. You're giving people hope so that they can try to do better and find avenues to also build that team. Your local newspapers, social media, school districts, talk to your students. I know there's a lot of professors on here, to get involved for school projects. Talk to your principal and your schools to see if you guys can get some sort of project going, a youth project. Teaching people about this stuff is going to only spread the energy and move the energy quickly, so that we all can benefit by knowing that everyone is safe and everyone is getting the correct help that they need without just talking about it on our platforms, on this technology. I know that we can do this and the energy can spread all over the world, but it's going to take summits like this to bring that awareness and to also form that conversation, that discussion, that thought in someone's brain of how they can figure out to go further in the process, go the limit, who to contact. And if you have any questions on what we should do for different areas, I do have some contacts that do have some inventions that they have been using and implementing in different countries for filtration systems. But again, it's going to be based on homeowners, landowners, government permits, government access to different, locations. It's going to be a team of you all in your countries to come together. It's not going to be done alone. And now this is my best advice to you. Don't think that a dream is too small. Don't think that you cannot achieve something without believing in what you're doing. You would not be able to be where you're at today. You are here as international public speakers, advocates for so many different issues that are going out there that you're finding solutions for. Don't think that you cannot grow and develop a solution for each SDG, for this SDG, because you can. All you have to do is be positive and use light mass of energy inside of you to control your thoughts and emotions, to stay repetitive, to make a solution, to find something out, to use your resources wisely and your time wisely, which is right now the time you have access to the internet, the time you have access to find out what's going on in your country by using the internet if you are not in contact with people, doing a little research, finding out what areas you can grow this development plan, not just your area. Talk to other form of leaders, whether they're teachers, professors, students that are outspoken and you see they're driven. Give them a task. Give them a task to maybe write that essay of their solutions. Give people more opportunities so that you can find out how to grow your plan and to make that able to be spread everywhere. Because once you do that and document that, it can be spread in other countries. It can be united for global peace. That's what we're here for. Global peace, which means we're finding peace in our daily lives. We're finding peace to have clean water and sanitation. We have peace with sustainable development goals to find a solution for these goals. So never give up. Always stay resilient. Always bring the best version of yourself to the table and keep your mind healthy, keep your mental health healthy, and stay positive. Always reverse a negative thought into a positive thought. And I will always be with you, and God will be with you. God bless you all. Until tomorrow, stay tuned. Thank you.